Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Lovely to see you all here. I'm going to do a bit of an experiment today because a lot of friends of mine have been contacting me wanting to record music and mix their old songs and do all that kind of stuff while we're in lockdown, particularly musicians who are still very much in lockdown. There's no gigs going on. And I was looking around, I've suggested various things like using Cubase, which is what I use, and obviously some people have Logic or they're using GarageBand, and no one's really coming into the market using Pro Tools or anything like that, not that I've seen. But I was looking around thinking, how would I do it? Let's say I was starting again today on a budget and I just wanted to mix some old stuff. What would I use? And after a bit of Googling and watching some YouTube videos and stuff, I kind of rediscovered Reaper. Now, I bought Reaper many, many years ago for video sequencing, actually. So I could run video to a timecode track, and I didn't really think anything of it since. But yeah, I've been watching lots of videos of people showing Reaper and showing all sorts of functionality I didn't know it had. And I also been looking at the Waves plugins that I've bought and looking and seeing which ones of those are quite cheap and you could do a mix with on a budget. So I've picked a song. This song is called Broken Greedo. Let me just change my scene. This song is called Broken Greedo by the band Cooper Brown. I recorded a couple of albums, some EPs, other bits and pieces for them back in the day, back at Rogue Studios. They're a great band, 3-piece rock band. And I've picked, as I said, Reaper, which you can buy for $60. $60 for a kind of a standard license. And I've also picked to use the Chris Lord Algae Signature Series plugins, which you can get for $68.99. And that has the CLA bass, the CLA drums, the CLA effects, the CLA guitars, CLA unplugged, and the CLA vocals in it. So for under $130, and obviously the original recording, the WAV files, you should be able to just do what I'm doing here, which I think is quite a decent sort of price for what I'm going to attempt to do. So before I did this, I didn't want to make a fool of myself on the stream and not know how to use Reaper, because I've really not used it much at all. I started with Logic and then changed to Cubase and occasionally occasionally have to use Pro Tools, but I didn't want to embarrass myself, so I kind of did a mix. So I'm going to play that to you, but then we're going to start again and go through the whole process with no plugins on it at all. And I'm going to mute my mic, play you where I got to, and we'll go from there. So here goes.
Together
I love that song. It's a great song. So let's dive in on it. Very simple. It's bass drum, snare drum, under snare, hi-hat, 2 toms, a room mic and some overheads, a stereo pair of overheads. I've got a reverse cymbal track here for a bit of an effect. I managed to convince them to put some kind of production onto it and not just be like a 3-piece band, which was sometimes a fight. Wasn't it, Pubs, who I believe is watching? Hello to Chris, hello to Jan, hello to Pobs, Robert Rickard. He's the drummer of the band. He's watching at the moment, or at least he was. I've got the click there for the intro. This was all imported from Logic 4.7, which is, yeah, because this was recorded, I mean, I don't know, 2002, something like that. And I was using Logic, either Logic 4.7 or Logic 5.5. So yeah, I mean, this is an old recording. Well, not that old, but old in my terms anyway. Nearer the start of my music career. And then I've got here a bass track, which is just a DI. May have gone through some sort of preamp or his amp head or something. I really can't remember, I'll be honest with you. And then I've got 2 guitars, which are just left and right. That was an old Marshall master volume head, one of the J&P master volume heads, and I believe it was a Dan Electro distortion or fuzz pedal or something like that. Now I've got this 3rd guitar track here where you see the right hand side guitar drops out there and then it kind of comes in. That was actually done on an EBO, and then I've got a lead vocal and a backing vocal. So it's a very simple song, and that's what makes it perfect for this mix. Now, I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn to say that there's a certain Green Day-esque sound to the whole thing, which is why another reason why I chose it for the testing out the Chris Lord Algae plugins, because he famously mixed quite a lot for Green Day, including the American Idiot album, which was huge, probably, I don't know, a year or 2 after that, but we were definitely on some of the Cooper Brown stuff, maybe the later stuff, referencing American Idiot. Maybe it was already out by then, I can't remember exactly when that came out. But yeah, so I thought it would be a good match to test out this song with the Chris Lord Algae plugins. So first thing I'm going to do, very easy on Reaper, I've been learning this. A few things that I love about Reaper very quickly is when you want to group something, so for example, you've got... you want to group some vocals, you can create a track. So I could insert a new track here and call it, say, vocals, even though I've already done that above. And then you can just grab the 2 tracks that you want to put in that group and just drag it inside. And those 2 tracks there are now grouped inside vocals. You don't have to create a bus and then go and ascend it and assign an output and stuff. So I'm really impressed with some of the functionality of Reaper that I'm discovering. But I'm going to get rid of that that vocal group because I already had it grouped. Let's have a look through then. I'm going to just take off all the plugins off of everything, groups, channels, and we'll have a listen through to it without any plugins on in its raw form. I won't change the levels of anything at the moment. We'll get to that. Unless I hear something awful. So that's without any plugins on it at all. That's kind of the signals as they were recorded at the time. I believe the vocals would have been recorded with my Neumann TLM 103, probably going through either the Drama LX20 compressor, would have gone through the desk first for a little bit of EQ, and it would have had the Drama LX20 or the Drama DL241 on it, possibly the DL241. It sounds more like that to me, but other than that, I don't think much was processed in. There was a little bit of EQ on the way in off the channels. Playing it back like that with no plugins on it, I think it's the drums that suffer most. They kind of become boxy and less punchy. So let's start. I'm going to mute everything except the drums, and I'm going to solo the bass drum, and let's just listen to the bass drum. So I'm going to load up in this experiment. I'm going to start by doing, where am I going? All plugins here. And I'm just going to go for the Cla Drums plugin. And I'm going to pick a bass drum preset of some kind. Rock 2. See what Rock 1 sounds like. Yeah, Rock 1 doesn't, I don't really need reverb on the bass drum. Right, so very quickly, this is all I've got as options. Not a little bit of gating. I don't want it to clip. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to show how easy it could be just with some plugins, just to load some presets and make it sound half decent if that's what you wanted. So let's load Rock 1 on the snare, see what that sounds like. Gates needed. Okay, under snare. So again, not spending too much time, just using whatever I can in this this plugin. I don't think there is an under snare preset, so I'm just going to go for the rock snare one again. Listen with the snare. Check the phase. I think it sounds better as it was. Hi-hat. Don't really do much to that. Not going to do much to that. The toms I'm going to treat as a group. Put the stereo version of the plugin over it. Just go toms. I don't know which one to pick. Let's just try. Bit of gating on it. And I've panned these toms a little bit, 39% that way and 64% that way. Maybe that's a little bit too much, actually. So let's move on. I've got the drums far, which is a room mic. I've got a single mono room mic. and a stereo pair of overheads. So let's remove the room mic for a minute. I might not use that. And here's the overheads. And I'm going to put the same plug-in again on it. Overheads. Bit of reverb on the overheads, make them carry through some ambience to all the drums. Right, now let's listen to the whole kit. So I've just put some sort of preset plugins that I've tweaked a little bit across all the drums. That snare's clipping a touch, so I want to bring the probably go into the plug-in, bring the level down. Right, let's bring the bass into this. Solo the bass. I need to unmute the music. So on this, I'm going to use the CLA bass plugin. Don't want the chorus. Growl is nice. Right, let's listen to the guitars now. Got the guitars group. Again, I've got both the guitars because they're the same sound. It's just one's panned left, almost left, and one's panned almost right. They're a little bit brought in. What am I doing here? Guitars, stereo. So I've loaded up the CLA guitars plugin. I'm going to turn off the pitch and the delay. We don't need any of that. A bit of club reverb, not too much. I'll probably just push the compression quite a bit. Yeah, that aggression's lovely. Bring the level down because it's clipping. Yeah. I'm going to mute the vocals for a second. We can just listen through to the drums, the bass guitar. So I feel now I'm losing the drums a little bit. So I've got all of that grouped on the in a group called music. So I'm going to pull all the music down. want the snare to come out. Turn some of the other stuff down. So that reverse cymbal there, I just want to put like a phasey effect on it. There's the Cla Effects, which is great. In fact, I'm going to start with the Cla drum because I want to treat it a bit like its overheads. A little bit of top on it as well. Get some reverb on it. Thin it out a touch. Maybe use the tops. Okay, and then I'm going to put, after that, I'm going to put the Cla Effects, which is a lovely plugin for doing all sorts of things, but I'm going to get rid of everything except the tape phase. I'm going to push up the tape phase on that. Maybe put a delay on it. Is that actually doing anything? Oh, of course it doesn't unless, of course this is for the throw, so I'll just put it on hold, so it's always on. That's better. Right, how does that sound with the kit? Turn it down. Okay, before I set the level of that, I'm now going to bring the vocals into it. So because these vocals were both individually compressed, I'm not going to put any more compression over them individually. I'm just going to treat them as a group. So I'm going to use the Cla Vocals, seeing as that's what this video is about. Cla Vocals stereo. Here we go. And I'm going to solo that. Let's have a listen to it.
I saw you naked, it's time to go.
Pull them down on here.
I screwed you girl, now it's time to go. Now it's my chance to leave. It is hard time to go. Now it's my time to go.
A couple of little clips.
I saw you naked, it's time to go. I screwed you girl, now it's time to go. Now it's my chance to leave. It is hard time to go. Now it's my time to go. I broke your Greedo, it's time to go.
Okay, I just want to have a look at one thing here. This room mic that I turned off. I think that could bring in some warmth into the drums. So I'll go for the loader. Basically use it as a reverb source. Don't mind moving the gate. Mix some of that in underneath it. Yeah, that's nice. That's without it. That's with it. Yeah, it's the way it's just like some body is gone. Right, let's have a listen through to the whole song from start to finish. I'm going to mute my mic. Perfect time for my desk software to go wrong, and I couldn't unmute my mic. I think that sounds really nice. I think for the purposes of this experiment, that's shown that for under $130, you could get a perfectly reasonably working DAW and have some plugins to do some really nice things with your instruments. I mean, obviously I could have something in here with a keyboard or an acoustic guitar, and there's plugins to do that. But yeah, I just want to see how quickly I could put a mix together using those things. And that's the video's been going for 30 something minutes now, and some of that I've been talking and just playing you the song and whatever. So that's a mix whacked together in under 25 minutes, I'd say. So job well done. So if you bought that stuff, that would be $130 well spent. I'm intending on doing another stream later today where I'm going to do basically exactly the same thing, but instead of using the CLA signature plugins, I'm going to use the CLA Mix Hub, which is a plugin that's meant to simulate his workflow and all his desk and his channel strips and stuff. It doesn't have reverbs on it, so I'm going to end up using different reverbs and different delays, but it's kind of going to be a video of what would happen if I literally just use his presets and I tried not to touch anything, and I just load up the bass drum, load up his Mix Hub plugin, click on the bass drum presets, go through them till I find one I like, and just how good can you get a mix to sound just by using presets. So that's going to be the next stream later today. I'll schedule that, so please kind of click on your notifications for videos, and if you've enjoyed this, go and find it on YouTube, because the reason I stream these live is to record for my YouTube channel. So look me up there and like the video and share it and whatever. You know what to do. Everyone says it, same thing every video. So yeah, see you in the next stream. Goodbye.